ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Council President Lyda? Council President Lyda?
Here.
Council Pro Tem Posey? There we go. Councilmember Sweeney? Councilmember Driver? Here. Councilmember Murphy?
Present.
Councilmember Middlebrooks?
Here.
Councilmember McClinton?
Here.
Quorum present, we will proceed. If everyone would please rise for the invocation to be given by our clerk and remain standing for the pledge to be given by Councilor Driver.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for tonight. We thank you for the leaders, and we thank you for just the wisdom that they have on the matters before us tonight. Thank you for this city, and I thank you for the blessings you give us. In the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, amen. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge
Mayor, do you have any proclamations or presentations? Nothing tonight. All right. We will now move to our regular agenda. We did not have a work session on Thursday evening, so we will walk through these items one by one and call on the department head to give us a brief overview. So if those in attendance would be patient with us tonight, we'll take a few minutes for each of these items to discuss prior to the vote. We'll begin with item number 1, payment of bills.
Motion to approve payment of bills.
We have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments from the body? Any questions from the public tonight on the payment of bills?
No question. I want to object to it being on the consent calendar.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? We have a motion and a second for approval. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries. Item number 2, approval of minutes from July 24th and July 28th.
Motion to approve the minutes of July 24th and 28th without reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval. Any comments from the body? Any comments from the public?
Yes, I'd like to comment since you apparently don't want me to comment on payment of the bills.
Just to clarify, you asked it be removed from consent. We don't have a consent tonight, which I announced earlier, so you're welcome to comment on the minutes.
Well, I'm Paul Hamrick from Middlebrook, and I do want to talk about the minutes because of part of what occurred last week. I'm going to give you an incredibly scary scenario about why the way this flows with just a broad payment of bills is dangerous. I'm going to do my best to put the hay down where the goats can get it. And I think it all comes back to this council is not being provided with accurate information. And I think this council really has to stop everything or remove Mr. Lyda as the president of this council, because I think as his personal project, he's the one that knows all this information. The mayor at least said he didn't read any of these documents. But I'm talking about Riverwalk, which gets paid on the payment of bills. It was a rushed, closed door, behind closed door project that makes no sense at all. On its most basic point, the Hoover Healthcare Authority is responsible for $76 million over the next 20 years. And make no mistake about it, if they default on that, that is the same as Hoover defaulting it. And you can just imagine what that would do to the credit rating that everyone likes to brag on. But it gets worse. The city of Hoover is subletting 31,000 square feet from the healthcare authority. So they've got a floor of this empty building. And they're spending $756,000 on it, about $24 a square foot. But that's not all of it. If you look at the Building Owners Maintenance Association that does these estimates, it's actually about another $12 that's added on per foot for all the things from security to insurance, just the normal stuff. So what ends up happening is the city of Hoover is paying in the first year $1.1 million for this empty floor. And the really crazy thing about it is they're going to take that $1.1 million space and lease it to the state for about $200,000. So in the first year, Hoover is going to lose $900,000 because of this deal. It's got to be stopped. You know, that's where all the costs add up on this thing. And now, there's other parts of this. Those numbers do not include the $16 million in pre-rent that this city is paying on that building. I don't know what pre-rent is. Apparently, it's a way to give the developer a bunch of money so he can, you know, finance his project. And that is the only place I can see on all of Riverwalk that it makes sense to anybody is the developer. And what they're not sharing with us are the developer fees, the management contracts, and just all this money that just adds up. And that's not to mention the legal fees. And I'm about out of time, but I'll finish that up in a minute. Thank you.
Any other comments from the public? We have a motion and a second for approval. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Item number 4 is resolution number 8, item number 3, resolution number 8540-25. Mr. Corley.
This resolution appoints election officers for the 2025 municipal election, and if necessary, the 2025 municipal runoff election. This resolution further sets compensation for the appointed election officers.
Motion to approve resolution number 8540-25.
Second.
Have a motion and a second for approval. Any comments or questions from the body? Any comments from the public tonight on item number 3? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Item number 4, resolution number 8541-25. Mr. Corley.
This resolution authorizes the mayor to execute a change order for bid number 25-006, Hoover Public Library Theater renovation for an additional $8,250 for the purpose of covering the costs related to installation of auditorium seating.
Motion to approve resolution number 8541-25.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Hey, thank you. Yes, this is a resolution, just as he said, to approve a change order so that the contractor can install the seating. We purchased the seating from a contract and could not include an installation that way, so we bid the seating, did not receive any bids, and so now we'd like to include it in the contract. It's small fee, $8,250, well within budget.
So to be clear, so the goal was to get the material, because the long lead times up front, have it here for the contract to install. Couldn't do that, so
We did receive, we were able to purchase the seating off of the contract list, but we could not
off the
purchase
state
the
list
installation
of that, so
we
y'all trying to
bid
wrap
the
into the project.
installation, so now it's wrapping it into the contract. Yep. Easy peasy.
Any other comments or questions from the body? Any comments from the public? We have a motion and a second for approval. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Item number 5, resolution number 8542-25. Mr. Corley.
This resolution authorizes the mayor to execute a change order for bid number 24-018 Thornton Drive Sidewalk Project for an additional $12,515.10.
Motion to approve resolution number 8542-25.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Marlin.
Good evening. As mentioned, this is a deductive and additional work change order for the Thornton Drive sidewalk project. The total deductions for the price of the project is $6,044.90. The additions, which include additional sidewalk and curb, totaled $18,560, and those together add up to the $12,515.10 that we're asking.
Good. Any questions for Mr. Marlin from the members?
So the bid line items came under, so you had a deduction,
Right.
but we needed additional sidewalks for the project, so
Yes, sir.
that's the variance.
Right, it was a unit price, so items
Unit
that were
price
not
on that.
used in the original were taken off, and then items, the additional sidewalk and curb that were added are the additional $18,560.
Any other questions? Any comments from the public tonight? We have a motion and a second for approval. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the motion carries. Item number 6 is a resolution number 8543-25. Mr. Corley.
This resolution authorizes Mayor Brocato to accept a bid number 25-013 from Avery Landscaping and Associates LLC for the Chapel Lane sidewalks from Hurricane Road to Alseer Road Alsire Road, for the cost of $548,169, and authorizes Mayor Brocato to execute an agreement reflecting the same.
Motion to approve resolution number 8543-25.
Second.
Have a motion and second for approval. Mr. Marlin.
As mentioned, this is item to award bid 25-013, the Chapel Lane sidewalks. We've received 4 bids, and after we reviewed, we recommend awarding to Avery Landscaping and Associates LLC. It was the lowest and lowest responsive bidder in the amount of $548,169.00. The contract will have 90 calendar days to complete this work, and the funds for this project were approved in fiscal year 2025 with no additional funds needed.
Just some quick, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
On the bid tabulation, unless I'm reading this wrong, maybe it's the wrong one. You said Avery?
Yes, sir.
Is item 6?
Yes.
Yes, it was 141. Is it another tabulation sheet missing? Unless maybe I don't have it in my packet. So, yeah, but it's only $41,000.
$141,000 was that was the Thornton.
But you said 500?
This is Chapel Lane. Yes.
In the packet, the one that we have
Yeah.
behind that
Don't have
item
that.
is for Thornton.
It's for Thornton, it's a different one. Okay,
Let's see if I have
okay.
Just, what was the budgeted amount for this project?
I have that. The original budget, $691,000.
Okay, so about 150 less.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Marlin? Any comments from the public tonight?
Yes, just, Mr. President, I just did updated one. It was put in there twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good. No public comments. We have a motion and a second for approval. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Item number 7, resolution number 8544-25, Mr. Corley.
This resolution amends the budget for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2025 for electrical repairs at Hoover East Sport Park as detailed in Exhibit A to the resolution.
Motion to approve resolution number 8544-25.
Second.
We have a motion and second for approval.
Council,
Mr. Grimes?
this is the item we've been discussing for quite some time now. I think we began first of the year around February, March, when we identified some issues. This budget amendment would propose taking money from the general fund. We have estimated 310 when we met with you several weeks ago. We've increased that to 350. We want to make sure that we can include enough for not only the electrical contractor, which is Monroe Electric, that's our annual contractor that has the annual bid. We've included Faraday testing, which has now been completed, the continuity testing and some of the resistance testing. And then we're anticipating some potential other expenses related to the electrical contractor that's been on this job, looking and interpreting all of that data. So as we move forward, these funds will cover the non-budgeted expenses that we've had thus far this year for these repairs. A lot of these repairs that we've done, as you know, are part of the infrastructure now. So whatever the future looks like as we work to finish the problem. Now, this is not a solution to the problem. This is to cover the expenses to get us to where we are now, that we have the final testing, and we now know that we need to take a look at how we're going to look at the electrical in the park for all 3 hubs. And so with that, we'll bring more information to you as we get that. We just got this report last week.
Any questions for Mr. Grimes?
Yes, sir, Mr.
sir.
President. Did the continuity testing identify the point of failure?
So I would say we went into this looking for a point of failure. What we have identified through the testing is significant failure in all 3 hubs with wiring. So the problem becomes we've had multiple events, can't determine in what they've tested, we can't determine what's been affected. Is it lightning? Is it surge? Is it different rodents? We've had all kind of things that have affected this some close to 30-year-old park. But the wiring is the core problem in the continuity testing, which gets into ohms versus volts. I'm not going to go into that detail, but that's an example where significant failures occurred in all three hubs. So that means we have to look at options that would include replacing the wiring and staying high voltage, which is in medium voltage by the time it gets into the park. But that doesn't necessarily solve our problem because we're still going to have issues. And we're trying to make this safe for the public when we electrify the park. So probably the best option that we have right now, and we're working toward that, we're going to meet with the power company tomorrow. And we've got some other engineers that we're trying to get a second opinion on some of this just to verify that this happens. But in this cabling and this wiring in all three hubs, there's enough significant failure in that testing that we can't just electrify it at night. So we can't turn the lights back on completely. So with that, we went in looking for a problem, and we realize now that all three are significant throughout the park, running into the poles and between the spans, which are underground. So we did not find a problem. We found many issues.
Thank you.
Unfortunately.
Only question, so is the park, portions of the park shut down?
We're not, since the time we found the issue with the electrification, the voltage on the fence being a little bit higher than the standard, we have not had power on at night since that time.
Yeah,
So
it's operable without power.
during the daytime.
All right, so you may have done this, the only thing I would probably request is just do a lockout, tag out, and put a note on there that no one shuts it off for liability's sakes.
Yep.
Because somebody may just break into it and shut it.
I do want to point out, we've had contact through, and we'll talk about the park board tomorrow night, but we've had contact with the association for Hoover East. We had a call today. We are working through how to adjust their scheduling as they come into fall ball, activities with soccer, lacrosse, football, all the different things that happen in that park.
Is the amount of the budget amendment request more than the amount of the invoices that are in the packet?
Slightly, yes, because we know we're going to have some electrical engineering invoices more than likely now that we've had the interpretation, and we're still finalizing that. But this was the buffer that we felt like would cover us. We hope we'll come in a little bit under that.
Any other questions from the body? Any questions from the public on item 7? We have a motion and a second for approval. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Grimes. Item 8 is resolution number 8545-25. Mr. Corley.
This resolution amends the budget for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2025 for the purchase of Clover Point of Sale system at the Hoover Met as detailed in Exhibit A to the resolution.
Motion to approve resolution number 8545-25.
Second.
We have a motion and second for approval. Mr. Ealy.
Good evening. The hardware for our current point-of-sale system, Clover Sport, for our food and beverage operation is outdated. We found out from the manufacturer that it's no longer going to be supported as of September 30th, next month. So we are asking for an amendment to the budget of $44,000, which represents about 3.5% of the revenue we generate in food and beverage. We're on record financial pace right now with revenues in excess of $4.1 million and net income from our annual operations at over $1.2 million right now. So the funds are there. And we just found out in January that this technology was no longer going to be supported.
Questions for Mr. Ealy on this item? Any questions or comments from the public on the item? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second for approval. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Thank you.
Shannon. Item number 9, resolution number 8546-25. Mr. Corley.
This resolution authorizes Mayor Brocato to execute a renewal term of 4 months with Hunden Partners at no additional cost in order for Hunden Partners to complete its reporting and presentation of the market feasibility study for Central Hoover.
Motion to approve resolution number 8546-25.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Mr. Knighton, good evening.
Good evening, council. The city has been working, as you know, with the Hunden Group since March of this year, focused on the River Chase Galleria redevelopment, or the feasibility of that. The scope of work includes 5 phases and some detailed 15 tasks. The original timeline was to have the completion of the study done in late July or early August, but it's been pushed back due to in-depth interviews with developers, including Brookfield Properties, the primary owner of the Galleria. Our contract that council approved back in March allows for 2 extensions. Staff would like to extend the contract through December of this year with no budget amendments anticipated in order to complete the work of Phase 5, the final phase, which is reporting and presentation. And that's simply so that Hunden and its partners can come and present to this body and to other bodies in the month of September, the findings of their study and beyond that, if that's amenable to this body.
Any comments or questions for Mr. Knight? Any comments from the public tonight? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second for approval. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. The ayes have it and the motion carries. Now we'll have some public hearings for the following items, beginning with item number 10, resolution number 8547-25, Mr. Gordon.
This resolution authorizes Mayor Brocato to execute a development agreement with TVBG2 LLC.
Motion to approve resolution number 8547-25.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Mr. Knighton, I believe you'd like to introduce the package.
Certainly, and we're joined tonight by the project team, the Village at Brotts Gap Phase 2, who, if council is amenable, will have a brief presentation on the project as well. The Village at Brotts Gap Phase 2 is proposing a second phase of the Village at Brotts Gap to be located at the corner of Stadium Trace Parkway and Brotts Gap Parkway. The proposed development includes approximately 79,000 square feet of retail and office space, which is slightly larger than originally expected and is reflected in the site plan and the development agreement that you have in front of you. There's a special focus on tax-generating tenants for this project, with about 90% of the users being sales tax-generating users. The estimate is that it will produce about $30 to $40 million in annual sales. So the total investment by the developer is in place of about $37,600,000. Total hard cost work is estimated to be about $27,710,000. So applying a stabilized sales tax our sales rate of $36 million per year with an annual 1% growth rate, my office estimates the cap that the incentive that the developer is requesting to be hit in years 7 or 8. So the proposed incentive is 50% of net new sales tax revenue for 10 years with a cap of $5 million, whichever comes first. The incentive cap will cover approximately 18% of those hard costs that I mentioned. The development agreement provides language that a fine dining restaurant, which is specified, a list of those are specified in the development agreement you have in front of you, will anchor the center and will be new to market. It must be a white tablecloth fine dining establishment that is governed by a specific list of restaurants that are in the development agreement. If the development is approved and there's deviation, the development agreement rather is approved and there's deviation from the aforementioned list, the developer would have to come back to this body for approval to deviate from that so that that fine dining establishment that is unique to this project and unique to the community would remain in place. And it would also allow for a future creation of an improvement district to allow for tax exempt financing for public infrastructure.
Very good. Would you like to invite Mr. Denney and his team up?
Sure. This is Mr. Patick Denney with the Village at Brotts Gap Phase 2 and his team. That's great. Sure.
My name's Patick Denney. I live at 1183 Tallis Road, 35242. We are the original developer of Phase 1, and this development is at a much more elevated level. You can tell by the position of the buildings, the architecture, and the type of tenant we're after. And we agreed to the type of fine dining, Class A, first-of-class restaurant to anchor this, because that's what we were set after to begin with. And the tenants that will follow have to all be maintained in that first level. We're not going to pack this development with a lot of restaurants. We're going to be very thoughtful in what we do. We're in talks with national Tier 1 men apparel, women apparel, boutiques that fall in line, a lot of diversification. You can tell in the first phase, we were very thoughtful in that because we had a lot of non-retail and retail, and all of them were, I believe, first in Hoover, other than Mr. Cohen at Whole Scoop and my wife's dance studio. And she just celebrated her 20th year, close to 800 students, so she feeds that area. In this agreement, there's no money expended by the city. It's 50-50 share of all net new revenue. We've even agreed to no poaching of tenants in Hoover, so everything will be new to Hoover, new to Birmingham, and new to Alabama in general. Any questions for the council? Glad to. I would like to mention we've met with Trinity United Methodist Church twice now. They have taken over Discovery, part of the Methodist Conference. They now control Discovery Methodist Church. They're located in Homewood, and they're very excited about it because they had concerns about their accessibility and their visibility. And part of the traffic situation will help alleviate because we're going to be able to enter on the church side and come in on the back side. While we believe we can handle all of our parking based on our requirements, and we're going to go underground on the detention, we're still going to enter into a parking agreement shared parking agreement with the church because we want to work together as good neighbors, and it helps them with some of their goals. But again, I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
We'll open the public hearing and ask the body if they have any comments on the project.
Just one, I guess. So, first, I want to commend you on your job that you did on the first phase.
Thank you.
I think it's an incredible site within the city. Great food places there. Maybe I frequent a little too often. I think that speaks volumes in the hope for the second phase and the quality that you can do. So, commendable on that. My comment really is geared toward Greg and his team. So, for a while I was on the fence with this project, even as great as it was for an incentive, mainly because the focus, I believe, needs to shift to redevelopment instead of new developments for incentives. And I've mentioned this. So I know your team has a few of new development potential incentive agreements in the hopper, and I will honor those. But moving forward, I think in the next administration, I really feel like new development incentives maybe needs to take a step down in priority to the redevelopment opportunities. I would like to see new development maybe get a 75% share with the city's favor, whereas redevelopment opportunities can go the 50-50 route. But for the ones that are in the hopper now, I understand we're at the 50-50 route for financing and so forth. And as I've said, you have done an incredible job on phase one. So I think this is a slam dunk.
And I'll echo that. Also, I've been texted by my wife that Talbot's no longer is in Birmingham, and they would like to have a Talbot's there. So there you go.
Oh, we're talking to them for sure.
Mr. President, I'll just also add, the most compelling parts of this development to me are your new to Hoover commitment, not poaching from other sites and drawing away from other sites that we have here in Hoover, as well as your, first of a kind fine dining establishment, which is something we are lacking, and I think that the community will really appreciate. So thank you for that.
And I'd like to speak to why the revenue share. I'm not going to use inflation as an excuse like many do, and our contracts from our vendors are such that they are passing it on. It has more to do with the type of tenant we're going after. They haven't considered Hoover in the past. Their sales are north of 10 million, and we need to kind of close that gap a little bit, and it will really help with the site work piece of that. And that's really the reason to try to close that gap, because we are going after a different type of tenant. So
I would just say one more comment in your favor, Mr. Denney. So for a long time, I've advocated whenever we do incentives, some way to work in a deal where some of the incentives go to the actual local business owners instead of just the developer. But Mr. Denney's projects, he's doing that already. He pours money back into the tenants for lower rents and so forth on his spaces during those incentives. So, you made it really easy on this.
thank you. Well, it's a true partnership, so we all work together, that's for sure.
Any other comments for Mr. Denney? Any comments from the public tonight on this item?
Can you name specifically?
Ma'am, if we could get you to come to the microphone and make your comment, please. Just ask for your name and location of town, please.
Hello, my name is Sarah Bishop, and I live in Paradise Lake. Can you tell us specifically what the names of the tenants you're going after are?
Yes, and they're listed in the agreement, which I'm sure it's made public, but Bob's Steak and Chop House is a legendary steakhouse in Dallas. Of that caliber, Morton's, Capitol Grill, that type of level of steakhouse that we're trying to attract to Hoover, to this particular location. What makes it even a little more challenging is the fact that we are neighborhood development and we're not on Main and Main, but because of the way the economy has shifted over the last 5 to 7 years, and the first phase was really, when I tried to lease that in the first phase, it was difficult because it wasn't a neighborhood, not on Main and Main. But those are what people want, and Hoover wants more local, creative type concepts, and not just the same that keep running the mill. So we are truly in negotiations with new to Alabama tenants. So it's more like a mini summit, if you will.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Seeing none, we have a motion and second for approval. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Denney.
Thank you.
Item 11, resolution number 8522-25, Mr. Corley.
This resolution authorizes the abatement of a weed or other vegetation nuisance at 425 Shades Avenue, Hoover, Alabama.
Motion to approve resolution number 8522-25.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval. Mr. Martin.
Good evening, council. We have some good news, bad news for our nuisance abatements this evening. We'll start with the bad news first. That's 425 Shades Avenue. This picture was taken earlier today. As of right now, it is still a nuisance in need of abatement.
Any comments from the body tonight for the public hearing regarding Shades Avenue? Any comments from the public tonight regarding 425 Shades Avenue? We will close the public hearing. We have a motion and a second for approval. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Item 12, we'll steal your thunder. You got good news on this one.
Good news on this one, 2413 Regent Circle has been cut to the satisfaction of the code enforcement official and can be removed from the agenda.
We'll entertain a motion to withdraw resolution number 8523-25.
Motion to withdraw resolution number 8523-25.
Second.
Have a motion and a second for withdrawal. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Item 13, resolution number 8524-25, Mr. Corley.
This resolution authorizes the abatement of a weed or other vegetation nuisance at 3456 Blueberry Lane, Hoover, Alabama.
Motion to approve resolution number 8524-25.
Second.
Have a motion and a second for approval, Mr. Martin.
Yes, Mr. President, this one falls somewhere in the middle. We have made contact with the heir of this particular piece of property. They have begun the work of trying to cut the property, but just to be on the safe side, we would like to move forward with the abatement vote tonight, just in case something falls through. But should you authorize the abatement, Mr. Mack with code enforcement will continue to work with the owner or the heir, and within a time frame that is reasonable, see if they can cut it themselves. If not, we will take this authorization and go abate the problem.
Any comments from the body on that item? Mr. Martin, what would you consider a reasonable time?
Within the month.
Okay. Very good. Any other comments from the body? Any comments from the public tonight regarding this resolution? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. We have a motion and a second for approval. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Item 14 is an ordinance number 25-2679, Mr. Corley.
This ordinance amends ordinance number 263 of the City of Hoover, Alabama, to rezone the property located at 2240 Chapel Road to R3, two-family residential district.
Motion to approve Ordinance Number 25-2679.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for adoption of the ordinance. We'll open the public hearing. Mr. Martin, with your presentation.
Yes, Mr. President, this particular tract of land located on Chapel Road is approximately 12,000 square feet in size. That does make it eligible for a single-family residential unit within the R3 zoning district. It would not meet the size requirements for a two-family duplex residence. So I just want to make that clear. Even though the name of the zoning district, R3, is two-family residential, the size of this property will only accommodate a single-family residence. And that is the intended use from the owner of the property. It is a vacant tract. They wish to develop it as a single-family residence only. This item has come before the Planning Commission for consideration at their July meeting, and the Planning Commission brings a positive recommendation to this body for this rezoning to occur. The developer did illustrate to both staff and the Planning Commission that they can build a single-family residence on the site and meet the development criteria for this zoning district.
Very good. Any comments or questions from the body for Mr. Martin?
Just one. Mr. Martin, you mentioned that it would not be big enough for two, so why the R3 and not R1 or estate?
Well, it is due to the size of the tract. It only being 12,000 square feet in size. The only single-family district available is this, or the only district with a single-family residential option is the R3.
Thank you.
Good question. Any other questions? Any comments from the public tonight on the proposed rezoning? Very good. We will close the public hearing. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Driver,
Aye.
Councilor Murphy,
Aye.
Councilor Middlebrooks,
Aye.
Councilor McClinton,
Aye.
Lyda.
Vote of 5 ayes and 0 nays. The motion carries and the ordinance is adopted. That brings us to the end of our agenda. And we will now proceed with any general council comments that anyone may have. Any members of the public like to speak tonight? Begin with you, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council. I'm Chris Silko. I live at 2152 Chapel Road in Bluff Park. I'm here to bring up an issue for an ongoing zoning violation at a piece of property right next to ours at 2200 Chapel Road. I've got here a letter kind of documenting what's been going on and what everybody's been doing over the past few years with regards to it, but I'll give a brief overview. I know we're limited on time. The lot in question is zoned E2 single-family use, and the current owner is running a multifamily apartment compound there and has been for, well, really decades, but it was brought to the city's attention almost 4 years ago. That's really the reason why I'm here tonight. So another issue going on is that we have 15-foot setbacks in Bluff Park. This detached garage is only about 5 feet back, so there's multiple things going on. There's also a series of safety and quality of life concerns here. There's been all kinds of incidents, police responses. I can remember at least half a dozen times police responding for domestic disturbances, breaking and entering, even grand theft auto related to one of these tenants. This apartment building's an eyesore. It looks like crap, pardon my French. It doesn't belong in our neighborhood. It's got external plumbing, PVC pipes, extension cords rigged up to outside light fixtures, exposed wiring, the works. People coming and going, noise, all that good stuff. The bad news is, as I mentioned, we brought this up to the city almost 4 years ago. We've hired a private lawyer. We've hired a private zoning consultant. We had a meeting right next door almost 3.5 years ago with then City Administrator Mr. Rice, along with the city planner, city attorneys, code enforcement, everybody under the sun. Everybody was in agreement this is a violation. Even the property owner himself and his attorney is in agreement that this is a multifamily apartment being used, that zoning codes are not met. We brought up charges, or Mac's team brought up charges in municipal court. He was convicted. They brought up more charges. He's appealing. He's dancing around. He's applied for a variance, which was denied. Years ago, a variance was denied for this. And then a few months ago, we applied for a different variance, which was denied just a few months ago, right here. My understanding as of last week is his attorney is planning to pull permits and somehow legalize this apartment that has been denied variances multiple times, that he's already been convicted for multiple times. And to be frank, we're kind of tired of this crap. I was looking through my notes. I have over 100 emails to the city. Over 100, I stopped counting. emails between myself, Mac, Dave Prosh, city administrators, city attorneys, everybody. We sat through half a dozen meetings, court cases, meetings here, and yet the problem persists. So we're fed up, we need some help. That's why we're here, Mr. Mayor. We're here specifically to ask for your personal involvement in bringing this matter to a resolution. Very specifically, we would like a meeting with you, with the city attorney, with the city administrator, another one with the city administrator, with the city planner, with code enforcement, with building codes, everybody, the entire city council. We need to draft up a way to move forward and bring this property into compliance. I thank you all for your service to our great city, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Silko.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Hamrick.
Yes, sir. Paul Hammrick, and the gentleman that just spoke did such a beautiful job of defining his problem, but I hope you don't lose any sleep waiting on a phone call, because I doubt you're going to get it if any of the past behavior is indicative of what's coming ahead. You know, when something gets a rot in it, it starts to spread and it begins to impact everything. I think this Riverwalk debacle is a cancer on Hoover. And the longer we wait on treating it, the heavier that albatross is going to get around our neck. It's affecting everything. Whether you go back to the first action this council took in October, you repealed the tax cut on groceries, saying that the city didn't have enough money to benefit every citizen in this city by cutting their grocery tax. But they've got hundreds of millions of dollars to throw into this Riverwalk debacle. And I'll give you an example of what else it's impacting. And Mr. Corley, you may comment on this, but there's something called the SSUT. It's a simplified sales and use tax that every state is struggling with, and it's important. It's what you pay as an online sales tax, depending on how you do business. As you can imagine, it does have some differing opinions on it. There's litigation going on in Alabama right now over the way the state is doing it. Hoover has a lot at stake on this, a lot of money at stake. But you know why Hoover hasn't joined the lawsuit yet? Because the state hadn't signed this lease at Riverwalk. And that tells you how bad this deal is. The city is afraid if they sue what would be their first tenant, that losing $900,000 in the first year doesn't make the deal good enough that somebody's going to sign the lease. Instead, they're holding off, afraid to sue them. And I think that defines everything about this project. And I think it's just beginning to come to light. And I plan on letting that continue. Thank you.
Any other comments tonight from the public? Very good. We thank you for your attendance, and we are adjourned.